Well, hello there. We're getting this bumper done in this video. If you couldn't tell, it's obviously done, so let's get into this. Alright, so here we are. We got bumper here, and off camera I've put in spacers here and here. Now the thing is there's a new welder in town. So before I was using this welder, which is primarily a stick welder, but this new one here can do stick, TIG, and MIG and flux core, which is what we're going to be using to finish the bumper off. Some of you might be asking, what's the difference? With that welder, technically all it can do is stick welding, which is essentially a handle, electrode, you tap to the metal, run it along. But the thing is this one's weird and it's just hates welding. But this new one, that one I think is also older, but this new one can do the stick, MIG, and TIG, which I don't have a TIG storage for this yet, but this one allows me to, of course, do the much better type of welding, and I can do whatever kind I want. Now in this welder, they had a reel of MIG wire and flux core wire, and we're gonna use the flux core wire for finishing this off, because otherwise later projects I'd rather use MIG. Now the difference between that is essentially with MIG is it's just wire and then gas shields the puddle essentially. But flux core is basically the stick reversed, and essentially is wire is wrapped around basically like a flux in there. So yeah, it's just kind of a basic thing. So let's get to finish welding this.
Too much, but I mean, at least it's filled in right in here. Yeah, still too much, you know. I was trying to do circles, but I couldn't really see what I was doing.
Not the greatest welds, but far better than the stick welder. I've also hit some of these spots with a wire wheel. Now it's to finally finish off getting rid of extra metal here and here, and then grinding down some of these welds. Alright, I got this mostly bolted up. Put my full weight. That should work. You guys hear that? The plan was I was trying to get this real nice and hot and bend this because the curvature of the bumper turns off before this, but I can't really get it to that point, and I don't feel like cutting and welding right now, so I think we're just gonna leave it as is. But it smells weird. For once I actually have a face mask on. Alright, now let's see if I can get this top part in. About there. Alright, I've got the grill put in, hood down, and I got the tape off, and now kind of a final look. Not too bad, you know. He's standing back, you know. You can't notice all the weird little stuff with it, and I'll be honest, it does look kind of cool, and definitely probably brings much better clearance now. So, but yeah. Now it is time to get some paint on this, some temporary paint at least, because eventually I want to properly paint it, but I'm going to wait until I can do like the paint and color change with the tan and all that. Now we're gonna hit this frame rail ends real quick with some rust reformer protection. Not too bad. This side doesn't really need as much, but might as well since we're here. Very nice, looks a lot nicer. All right, so we got the bumper here, we got paper down, and I did a little test spot right here. Just trying to make sure that the rust reformer here doesn't react with this paint. And it looks like it's not, so we should be fine to continue painting. Oh, don't do that. Flat look. Nice first cut. Alright, on to the third cut. So while we wait for that paint to dry, we're gonna do something a little exciting for the grill. So what we got here is some grill lights, which basically just pop right into here, and then there's another cord, this, that plugs into all 3 lights, because there's 3 of them here, and I'll probably wire it up to accessory lights, but yeah, let's get these put in. Take the light. And now, when we theoretically attach these, you turn on, wow, that's bright. I didn't realize how bright those actually were. Headlights out. We do not need all that slack. Where we got extra wiring now. Cutting that. Alright, now unfortunately I didn't catch doing the wiring on camera. In theory. Side markers on. Those are on. Hey, let's go. Nice and clean too. Okay, everything's all put up together, back together, put on, and the only wire you'd really see is this one right here, which if anything I might be able to hide even better. And then if you're really looking, you could probably see the wires down there. But basically all we have to do is go into here, turn the running lights on. Now we come check out here, and I think I forgot to plug that in, but yeah, those are running now. That one's on, but yeah, I think I forgot to plug that in. Okay, there we go. It was not in fact unplugged. One of the wires accidentally pulled out of one of the connectors, but should be in there stronger now. So yeah, if we come around this way, get out of the way. You're in the way, there. Oh yeah. Let's get this bumper on so we can really see what it looks like. Okay, now I know this looks very different from what you just saw me do. I originally put them up here, but then I did not like that look. They're too square, and when doing those, you need to have very big lights, and those aren't very big. So I also did not like the fact that you could also see the wire running under here. So temporarily I have these and these just zip tied on. They should be fine. Freaking drift cars half the time are using zip ties anyway, so it should be fine. But these are wired in, but these ones aren't yet. I'm kind of just wanting to scope out, see like how it looks, and I'll be honest, I don't know, I'm not too sure. I don't know if it's just because of the point where I have them mounted. They look too far out still. But it looks better than up here. That did not look good at all. So, if you couldn't tell by my face already, this is very bright. A lot of light. Oh my gosh. That is a ton of light. And those two surprisingly, oh my gosh. That is a ton of light. Look at this wall. It is completely lit up. Oh my gosh, it just completely demolishes how much light this gives. And probably even the light up there. Oh my gosh, this wall is just completely lit up.